Hi, my name's Kara Prem, and this is my vegan journey. I'm 43 years old and I work as an admin, but I have two teenage children as well and try to volunteer with community organizations. I've been vegan for about 8 months. I think it all started a really long time ago. My sister was in college and had a film that was going to be shown at the Wexner Center with a bunch of small films, and it was filmed partially to Slaughterhouse, and watching that really disturbed me, but I only became vegetarian. And through reading about animal welfare through classes at Ohio State and then just on my own, I decided to try being a vegan when my children were young, and I lived off of potato chips and cookies and quit. I stayed vegetarian up until about 8 months ago. My friend had gone vegan and I watched how she seemed pretty happy with it and wasn't struggling nearly as much as we thought we would without cheese. My daughter approached me and said she wanted to try going vegan, so I decided to give it a try and started researching recipes online and just coming up with different ways to make it something that would work with our family. In order to go vegan, the first thing I did was I bought a couple of cookbooks, one that I just found online and one that a friend's sister had actually published. I started finding recipes that didn't look too hard because I'm not a great cook, and played around with things, found that some things really worked and some things didn't, and it took a lot of time at the grocery store to check the labels. Luckily, my daughter shops with me and she's a bit more vigilant than I am. Thought the hardest thing would be to give up things like cheese, and I'm surprised at how easy it actually was. I never thought I could give up cheese, and now it just isn't something that's appealing because I have all these cruelty-free options available to me. There are so many awesome things about being vegan. I'd have to say the best is the change that I've seen in my health in just this short time. I'm not getting any younger. I went to the doctor a month ago and my cholesterol dropped by 40 points and all of my other health numbers were in the healthy range. The same doctor that criticized me for choosing to go vegan all those years ago is now vegetarian, and she's really focused on the environment, so she was asking about the environmental impact about transitioning to veganism and what steps I took. I also feel good about what I'm doing to prevent deforestation, and I'm an animal lover, so anything that I can do to help the animals and feel like I'm advocating for them by not eating them is awesome. I'm not ashamed to say that I like animals a lot, maybe more than some people. So besides cheese being something that I thought I would miss, I love food, I love eating, and I have a terrible addiction to chocolate, and I found that that was really hard at first. I was working at a company where we had a chocolate supply, and it was in my office above my desk, and it was there taunting me. I did discover though that if I could resist for a couple days, it got a little bit easier, and very slowly I found that I didn't miss it, that it didn't call out to me anymore. And then eventually, going to the grocery store and looking online, I found that there are some substitutes. There are ice creams that you can have that are vegan. There's chocolate that you can eat that are vegan. I don't need it, but it's nice to know that I can have it, and I do have it as much as I can. I love food. Obviously, we've talked about that. And one of the things I've always liked were things like lentils and beans, and obviously transitioning to a plant-based diet, I'm eating a lot more of those and finding creative ways to do so. But I do buy plant-based meat protein, things like Gardein. They make amazing fish that you can make fish tacos with avocado and hot sauce. Nutritional yeast. I'm learning how to cook with tofu and getting better all the time. My daughter's really good, so she's slowly teaching me how to do that. And of course, I like to eat out. I'm not a fancy restaurant person, but places like BB Bob and Aladdin's and Patty Cake Bakery, which I patronized a lot the first time I went vegan. I'm learning to do it in moderation now, but places like that are absolutely wonderful. You can go out and get a good meal and still stick to the eating plan that you've created for yourself. I want you to know that it's not nearly as hard as you think it is. I put up every roadblock imaginable in my head. I loved cheese. I loved I loved ice cream. I loved sugar, or chocolate and all that stuff. But after a couple of days, I found that I didn't miss it and that I felt better. Took a lot more thought at first. You have to really think about the ingredients that you're purchasing and pay attention to the labels. But once you know that something's vegan, you know that you can buy it again and again. And it just gets so much easier. You feel better. And after a while, you don't understand why you put up so many roadblocks in the first place. Thanks for letting me share my vegan journey with you, and best of luck to you on yours.